Hi, I'm your host Martina, and welcome to Artist Mindset. So, maybe I don't sit like this. Very often we get told, just start, just do it. But I understand it's not so easy to just start doing things, right? There is a lot of fear or maybe doubts, or maybe you are just procrastinating. I also tend to procrastinate a lot, especially when I'm trying to avoid my fears. But I think it's very powerful to not wait until the conditions are perfect to start, because then they will never be perfect, right? And it's also what I'm trying to do with this podcast, but it's also something I've done with my workshops, ArtConnects, and I would like to read to you a little bit from my workbook today, because it is the story of how I started and how I didn't wait for the conditions to be perfect, because I certainly didn't, and I think it's very important to have a starting point. So let's get into it, and I'm gonna read you this little piece of my book. This is like the introduction of my book, which talks about why workshops. Life often pushes us into unexpected directions, and for me, that push came in the summer of 2022, when I decided to leave university. After 3 years of studying sociology and pedagogical science, I knew I wasn't growing in the way I wanted. It wasn't an easy decision, but I felt a strong pull towards something more authentic. A life built around art. So I packed up and I moved to Aarhus with just 2000 korona in my pocket. In March 23, I hosted my first ArtConnects workshops. I called it the project and experiment, because truthfully, I wasn't sure where it would lead. For so long, I had treated my art as something sacred, almost untouchable. Letting others into the space felt vulnerable and like something I wasn't ready for. But it was also transformative. Slowly, ArtConnects grew into something beyond my expectations. It became a community, a way for people to connect not only with art, but with each other and with themselves. So, here you have it, a little piece of my book and my story. But why I read this to you wasn't just a reminder, but also because I want to talk more about few points that I wrote about. And it's that you should not feel scared to pursue whatever you want and feel in your bones that is the right direction. Even if you are not sure exactly where to go or what to do, and you feel like you might just see this huge mountain in front of you that screams, "This is my future," just focus on where to place your foot next and trust that it is the direction. And the same way as you would climb a mountain, it's huge, right? So the first few steps that you're doing, or not even few, even many steps in the beginning that you do, they don't have to be as precise as you think, because you still see the direction, right, of the mountain, because it's so huge, it's unmistakable, you cannot miss it. So really don't overthink it and don't be scared where you're gonna do your next steps, and trust that you are getting closer to the mountain or to your goal, if you will. And as you get closer, the shapes and the colors and everything will become more vivid, right? It will become more clear. So my advice would be, and this comes really from somebody who I still cannot believe I am and how much I actually managed, but not just because of me, but also thanks to you, all of you that supported me, and I'm extremely grateful for that. You know, just start and try things out and share it with others. Don't just close yourself in a room. I think even if you decide to do things like YouTube videos or even becoming a content creator or influencer, you need connections. You need people. So also go out and don't be scared to call yourself an artist or call yourself an influencer or a YouTuber if you want. And I truly believe the right people will respond positively to that. So go out and try to pursue that mountain. And don't wait until the conditions are perfect, because that will never happen. The conditions will never be perfect, and I truly believe the destiny will always test you out. So I think it's really about you showing your resilience to the world and how much you are committed and dedicated to pursue your goal and dreams, and not waiting or trying to get, the perfect equipment. Or we all heard this story, I'm sure we all heard this before, about not waiting until we have all the equipment and then deciding to make a perfect YouTube video or a song or anything. Just play and try out and have fun, and also trust in yourself and your abilities, because you already have the tools that you need. And I know that it might seem like you're unsure where you're headed or if it is the right direction, and being unsure of what questions you're asking. But really, if you trust, you will get the right answers. And over time, also the more you talk about your idea or your dream with others, it gets shaped more and more, and all the rough edges become more soft and rounded, and everything becomes more clear. So you will get answers on the questions that maybe you weren't even sure you're asking for. So this would be my advice. Just go and try things out and have fun. And I know it might seem uncertain at times, but I heard somebody say this, that uncertainty, and I think it's really beautiful, uncertainty has the spirit of a child. And what is childlike? It's playful, right? It's very also curious, right? Children are very curious and fearless. So try to approach it also from that perspective of trying to discover what is it that you're actually asking, or what is it that you are actually learning from this, and explore and have fun doing that. Because at the end of the day, you truly do this for yourself. And I know that not all the workshops or all the exhibitions or events or whatever you're doing are perfect, and not everybody will like it. But focus on the people that do, because those are your people, and those are your supporters and your group. So then you not only do it for yourself, but also for them. You don't do it for the haters. I truly believe that, if somebody hates on you or just writes nasty comments and things, probably, well, I try to not judge them, because you never know what is going on in their life, but just think about it. Most of the time, if you don't like what somebody else does, you just keep going, right? You just change the direction, you just ignore whatever you saw, or you let it out. So just think about it, and it's not to judge the people, but what they have to be going through if they have this tendency or this need to express their dislike or disinterest in someone to you. And probably it's a good thing. Maybe you just triggered something in them that maybe they are not aware of yet. But you never know who you're going to inspire, and maybe they can also learn something from that if they realized what is it that you triggered in them that they don't like. Because I think we are all like mirrors to each other, right? And very often when we don't like somebody, it's because they show us something that we don't like about ourselves. So truly don't be scared of the people that dislike what you do. And remember that whatever you're doing for yourself first. Because your art is reflection and extension of who you are, and it should allow you to expand as a person and learn and grow. Truly remember that, and remember why you are starting something. And don't be afraid, because this is just the beginning. And like every baby doesn't remember their first step. A few years from now, or even a few weeks from now, you won't even remember what you did. But you will remember that you did and took that first step. And that's the important thing, to just take it and trust fearlessly, like the baby that is learning to grow and walk. You just go and do that first step, and after that you do the next one, and you do the next one, and you get closer to that mountain, and your direction and the road will get more and more clear, until suddenly you are halfway up, or even on the top, wondering, how did I get here? But you have to take that first step. So my dear, don't be scared. Don't let the fear stop you, or judgment of others. Take yourself, take your inner child, and go and explore your art. And I wish you all the best, and I hope that you got at least a little bit of courage from today's episode and can pursue that first step of your journey. And please let me know what it is, because I'm really curious what kind of journey you are on. And if you want to hear more episodes, of course you can follow me. I will be very grateful. Or like this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!